So today I'm here with Kenny VanKeuren, who is our facilities director, and Brandon Shoults, the assistant director, and we're looking at a video today of the construction site. So, gentlemen, we're going to watch this video, and if you want to talk, I can stop it, but just tell me what we're looking at.
Well, I can start by, this is the ending of the grubbing process on the site.
What is grubbing?
Grubbing is clearing of all the vegetation, trees, any soils that need to be scraped off. And then the coloring, different coloring of the soil is the different moisture content in the soil.
Different types of soil.
We're also looking at the beginning of the over-excavation, which I can let Brandon talk a little bit about that.
So over-excavation happens just to kind of ensure that your native soil that you're working with meets the compaction ratio that we're looking for, which I think for most of the site is 95%. And generally native soil is pretty close to that, but the over-excavation, in this particular case, we're over-excavating 2 feet, so they're taking the top 2 feet of soil off of the site in a particular area, recompacting it right back where it came out of with a little bit of moisture coming from the water trucks there to ensure that we're getting that 95% compaction rate, and then more fill soil will be placed on top of that.
And ultimately, what is that for? Why do you do it?
It's just ensuring that you've got a good foundation. You know, with any building, it starts with a good foundation, and really before you got the foundation, you got the dirt. And so what you'll see in our soils here in this area is a lot of clay, and even though we don't have a problem with clay here, it still exists, and there tends to be an expansion and contraction that happens with it. And if you walked in any of the areas in the area here, you'll see a lot of loose soil. You'll even see fissures at times where there's these small cracks that open up, and that's just the process of the soil expanding and contracting. Well, when it's doing that, it's not staying at 95% compaction, and so really what you've got is a somewhat unstable base in the top couple of feet. So at the recommendation of the soil engineer, they had us pull out the top 2 feet to make sure that it does get recompacted solidly and completely at 95% to ensure that we've got a great foundation for the rest of the fill and the rest of the building as we go up.
This is part of the over-excavation where they pushed the 2 feet into rows, and then they will water it down properly and then start to reinstall the soils back to the spots where they took it out.
So where is this dirt coming from?
This is part of the over-excavation, and then it could be also part of the borrow pit area, which you can see on the upper screen, is where we are removing the hill next to the Juvenile Justice Center, and that is where we're getting all of our soils for the project.
So they bring it over and they get it wet.
Yeah,
They're actually and also for compaction.
Yeah, they're also watering it as they remove it, and then as they place it as well.
So from this borrow pit is where all that dirt came from.
Correct, and that's what you're looking at right here. Them loading it up into the dump trucks and
That's a great shot right there. Sorry to step in, but you can see the different soil colors that are happening right there. This is all native soil that has just come out of our borrow area that's not been heavily watered. This is really what it looks like coming out, and so it shows a really good varying soil conditions there, and you can have some light soil where the excavator's sitting on and some kind of medium darker soil right adjacent to it, and it really came out of the same area, and it's interesting how it varies like that.
I'd also like to add too that, you know, the beauty of using this borrow pit area that's right adjacent to our building site is that we're creating a future building pad for the future construction if we ever need any
More usable long-term space that we've got there. The county owns quite a bit of acreage here, but it's all hilly terrain. And so any of this requires a substantial amount of work to make it a good, flat, usable area. And yeah, like Kenny was saying, it's a huge benefit for us to be able to use a borrow source, create a pad for a future building, which reduces our costs to make those improvements happen and helps this project as a whole.
Yeah, we're not having to import any soils. It's just a huge cost savings.
So then they just go and they dump it, and then they push it around with those big tractors.
Yep, and then they have sheep foot rollers that are compacting it. I don't know if we've seen any of those on
there. Was one, you know, in one of the earlier shots, you could actually see a lot of texture in the ground. It was kind of an interesting shot. It kind of looked corrugated or something like that. That's a result of that, the sheep's foot, which is really just It looks just like a loader would, except instead of tires, it's got steel drum wheels with these knuckles in it that just absolutely pound the soil together.
Nice. So then today is September 30th, and if you drive Prescott Lakes Parkway at all, you might see some smoke. What's going on here?
Well, this is the burning of the grubbing process where they took the trees and all of the shrubs and everything that was on site, pushed it down to this site right here, which is the northern end of this building site, separated the piles, allowed them to dry for quite a period of time so we lessened the smoke. And this is the result is they're starting to burn those piles.
And this is a permitted, controlled.
Yep, we contact the fire department. They have to check daily with the fire department to allow them to burn on certain days. We had to delay certain days because of the high winds in the afternoon, but fortunately this week we've gotten some good weather and the fire department has approved us to go ahead and burn.
How long do you think this is going to last?
I do believe it's about a 2-week process. Yep.
Kind of depends upon the material and weather conditions. Weather conditions can certainly push it off. This actually comes at a cost savings to the county. Normally what you would do is have to haul that off-site to a transfer station, and you pay dumping and hauling fees to get it to the station, and then you have to pay the station to dispose of it too. And rather than spending that and burdening our transfer stations with just organic debris, it's nice to be able to burn some of that and not fill up the landfills with that, not spend the cost on it.
And again, just so we know where this is that's Sundog Ranch Road right there. And
Humane Society right across the
right
street.
across the street.
Yeah, city's wastewater treatment plant. And you can actually see the transfer station there right just beyond the Humane Society. There's a tire yard there that takes in tires from the area, ultimately transfer them down to a state facility. Yeah, all the solid waste transfer station the city of Prescott operates down in there. It takes all your household trash and all that goes through that transfer station there as well.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I'm hoping that if people enjoy these videos, finding out what's going on, that they'll comment below. And until next time, thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.